In my view, Jacob Zuma is a delinquent litigant. It's better to call him that way. He's a tsotsi trying to play around with courts. So therefore, naturally, I don't think there are grounds for his appeal because the Constitution expresses that he's conflicted by the matter and therefore naturally can't proceed.
And we'll get a personal cost.
And ultimately, if he proceeds, he'll get a personal cost order. So unless the Guptas have got bottomless pits of money, then they must continue to find Jacob Zuma's endless litigation.
The court found that the President's action in attempting to block the release of the report amounted to what they described as an abuse of the judicial process and an attempt to stymie the fulfillment of a constitutional obligation by the Office of the Public Protector. Moreover, the court found that the review process, the second judgment, was a, quote, clear non-starter, and the President was, quote, seriously reckless in pursuing it as he has done. This conduct, the court found, falls far short of the standard expressed in Section 195 of the Constitution. As South Africans, it should concern us that this reckless litigation was the first time in our constitutional history that a sitting president has been required to pay back personally the costs of litigation out of his or her own pocket.
We believe whoever gets elected next week, their sole duty is to convene, is to request that Parliament be convened. We will support them, no problem. That Jacob Zuma must be removed. Whatever the NEC gets elected, let them remove Jacob Zuma. If they can't do that, they must come to Parliament, and if we will await the Constitutional Court application in a matter brought by the EFF, DA, COPE, UDM, which seeks to establish the procedure to be followed in the impeachment proceedings against the President. We have the view that this case is vitally important as the Constitutional Court has the opportunity to provide guidelines for clear and proper procedure of impeachment proceedings, which will allow for those who break their oath of office to be held to account. From the Public Protector's findings, there is evidence of a breach of the Executive Ethics Code by the President, specifically following sections 2.3d, the use of his position or any information entrusted to them to enrich themselves or improperly benefit any other persons. The use of information received in confidence in the course of their duties, otherwise than in connection with the discharge of their duties, or section 2.3f, to expose themselves to any situation involving the risk of a conflict between their official responsibilities and their private interests. This is concerned primarily with Jacob Zuma seemingly allowing the Gupta family and his son to engage or be involved in the process of appointing and dismissing members of the executive. The Public Protector was unable to come to any conclusive finding as to whether there was a definitive breach of the code by the President. Thus, this must form part of the terms of reference for the Commission of Inquiry to be set up by the 12th of January. If it fails to form part of the terms of inquiry, we believe we will seek legal advice whether in terms of the reference it can be reviewed and brought in line with the findings of the Public Protector. Because we believe this matter must be investigated. In my view, Jacob Zuma is in breach of the Executive Ethics Code, and this is a serious offense. And if the President has breached this must be established and finalized by the inquiry. If the President fails to establish this commission within 30 days, the DA will launch an application in the High Court in terms of the Uniform Rules of Court to force compliance with these rulings, regardless of any prevaricating appeal by President Zuma and his litigious legal team.